Hey psychologists, we made it here to our last week. Can't really say if it feels like it took a long time to get here or not. Time's been just sort of weird for me lately. Maybe time's been weird for you too. But here we are. For what it's worth, I have not been counting down. I have not been like, yeah, I can't wait to get away from these people. You all have been amazing, and I've enjoyed this ride, even though we've had to kind of change things up dramatically these last several weeks. I hope you're enjoying the materials I've given you for the last few weeks on Eastern philosophy. You know, just the more I thought about positive psychology and how can we improve our lives, the more I felt like, you know, we can take a Band-Aid approach or we can go right to the heart of the matter. And I think, why not go right to the heart of the matter? So hopefully that stuff hasn't blown your mind in a bad way. I'm always eager to answer more questions on these topics. I love talking about this stuff. To receive attendance points, normally, remember, all you have to do is have completed a class synopsis for one of our online days or been in the classroom for one of our face-to-face sessions. For the last week to get your attendance points, all you have to do for Tuesday's class is post on the discussion board some general wrapping up thoughts about what you thought about the class, what resonated, maybe what questions you have, just kind of those final thoughts. And then for Thursday, I'm inviting you to share 3 random things about you. Don't stress it. Don't think you have to make a weird video with a do or any of that. Just share some things with us as we say goodbye. Your attendance report is due on May 7th, so you can use the grade book that's already up on D2L to see how many points you received while we were meeting face-to-face. And then, like I said, add 5 points for each subsequent class synopsis that you filled out, and then you can get the 10 points for this week by doing the 2 things that I just mentioned. I've also posted a meditation for goodbyes for this week. I just worked that up. I think a lot of times we don't say proper goodbyes and just boom, we're gone. So a meditation that will hopefully help you process some of the feelings of letting go of, you know, this entire experience that we've shared together. So I recommend a 10-minute version, but I created a 5-minute version for those of you who feel like 10 is long, so you have options there. Please keep checking the grade book once final grades are submitted, which should be happening sometime perhaps over the weekend or early next week. It's very hard to change them, so be on it. If something doesn't look awry, if there's something you think you did that you didn't get points for, be on it and let me know. Let's get everything smoothed out before the ending so we don't have to go back and go into crisis mode. So do me a favor and just let me know if something doesn't look right so I can fix it. Speaking of goodbyes, I guess I just want to say I really appreciated you all semester. I really enjoyed this class. One of, you know, the most meaningful experiences I can have is to be passionate about something and then have other people share in that passion or enthusiasm. And you all did that. Especially when we were meeting together in the mornings, you all would jump right in on these topics. I was never like, oh, I gotta go get to psychology. I was like, yes, what are we gonna talk about today? What questions are we gonna ask? Are they gonna bring me back to free will? What are we gonna do? So thank you so much for making this a fun and enjoyable experience for me. As I've said before, I never woke up thinking, oh, I gotta go to work. This was never work. It was an honor and a privilege to share this ride with you. So I just wanna extend a big thank you to each and every one of you. We covered so many topics, it's hard for me to say like, oh, I really hope they learned this or that. But generally speaking, I hope you learned how malleable the brain is, how nothing is fixed, how everything can change, and how flawed our perceptions and our cognition often is. And hopefully that inspired not some kind of freak out, but more of a, hey, well, these are some ways that I can, you know, become happier, because that's an internal journey and not an external one. And maybe now you have a little bit more empathy and understanding for other humans, because it's just so easy to go, oh, why are those people doing those things? They're so dumb, whatever, I hate them. And instead it's just like, oh, look, humans being human. So if I gave you some of that perspective into your life, then I'll consider this a win. I also guess just want to say that I hope this is not goodbye. I hope this is just a transition. I hope to see you all again in one form or another. In the comments section below, I'm including my Gmail address, so you have that. As an adjunct, I can never guarantee that when you look for me, I'll still have a front range email. I've obviously taught for many different schools, but I've had that Gmail as long as well, honestly, you had to get an invitation to have a Gmail when I got that account. So that's a pretty safe bet that you can reach me there. I'm also linking to Leveled Up's Facebook page. Just about every day I post some positivity and encouragement there. So be sure to check that out. It's also a great place we can continue to have some of these conversations, as well as Leveled Up's YouTube channel. I'm not going to post as many things to my private channel here, but I'll continue to put out more and more polished videos on these types of psychological topics that we've discussed. I have a really fun series on cognitive bias I can't wait to get started on, so be sure to subscribe there and continue to check out the fun stuff that's coming. And last but not least, obviously, I hope to see you in future classes. So I'll keep you all posted on my schedule as I know it. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the fall. My fingers are crossed that we have a classroom again. That's certainly my hope. But if, by some off chance we end up doing this crazy online thing again, please know that the experience that you've had with me has been me, at the last minute, taking a face-to-face class and turning it into an online class. So if instead we're online from the beginning, I'll have a lot of really fun and cool plans to make that as awesome an experience as possible. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, or at least it wasn't too painful. I really did my best to put in the time and effort to make it a fun ride for you. But I'm just promising you that I will do that tenfold if I have a summer to prep for fall being online. So one way or another, I really hope you all keep in touch. And I really just want to give a big thank you to all of you for making this a really enjoyable and meaningful experience for me. So